recorded window.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you so much for joining us today for life's first virtual open house. We are so excited to have you here to meet the team and learn all about our services and how we can help you to increase your independence. My name is Denise Howard. I'm the program director. I also handle assistive technology. I'm a member of the administrative team, along with our executive director, Neil Ligon, and our associate director, Angel Bernardi. And the purpose of the open house today is for you to get to know our team, to ask questions, to learn about life and all the services we have to offer. LIFE is an acronym, and it stands for Living Independence for Everyone. And we are a nonprofit organization run by and for people with disabilities who are dedicated to promoting independent living and advancing community change. LIFE was founded in 1986 by two visionary women, Doris Phillips and Judy Winters. Two visionary women with disabilities. Doris Phillips was a post-polio survivor who used a wheelchair for mobility. Doris took a trip to California, which is the birthplace of independent living, and experienced a whole nother level of accessibility that she'd never experienced before. So she brought that vision and that passion and that experience back to Georgia, where she used that inspiration to found Life Incorporated, along with Judy Winters. It was a life-changing trip that translated into her advocacy for people, for the rights of people with disabilities. She envisioned a world where everyone could fully participate with equal rights, equal opportunity, and integration in the community, regardless of their disability. And so she was very instrumental in affordable housing, accessible transportation, and disability rights. Many of the benefits that we enjoy today are because of the advocacy of Doris Phillips and Judy Winters. And so at LIFE, the services that we want to share with you, we want to empower you to be able to build the life that you want to lead and live as independently as possible. So feel free to jump in, to ask questions. We're here to help. And to introduce the rest of the staff is our executive director, Mr. Neil Ligon.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for the introduction. Denise is our longstanding kind of keeper of the knowledge of life. It's terrific. She does a great job with our assistive technology program, as well as supporting our consumers with their independent living needs. Really excited about this opportunity to be in front of everybody, even though it is virtual. The advantage of virtual is that it's easier to get together. I'm sitting in our satellite office in Chatham, as are two of my colleagues who I'll introduce in a little bit, and yet we can all be together. And so I think that is a huge advantage and something that's easy to lose track of when we're getting frustrated with technology, which undoubtedly will occur at some point. It's just how it works. My name is Neil Ligon. I'm the executive director of LIFE. I've been with the organization for a little bit over 5 years. It's been an honor to work here. I've learned incredible amounts, beginning with Denise, who was here when I began and walked me through the independent living movement, and my familiarity with it from outside of outside of SILS required a little bit of brushing up, and Denise was an excellent guide with respect to that. I'm really proud of what the products that we offer and the services that we offer, because I think that in this time of COVID, it's gotten easy for us to lose track of what we are as an organization. And I think we keep coming back around to that. We are a planning organization. Now, we understand that people cannot be planning when they're in crisis. So we do crisis stabilization around COVID. We have a number of different programs that my coworkers will discuss on our COVID programs. But ultimately, what we're trying to do is we're trying to help people make the decisions in their own lives that will help them attain the goals that they're seeking to attain. I think the self-directed element of our service delivery is absolutely crucial in how people perceive it, as well as their ultimate success. We are not the experts in anybody's life. They are the expert in their lives, and we're there to assist them in achieving the goals that they see fit to seek out. If anybody ever has any questions about us organizationally, I would encourage you to start by reaching out to the Savannah office. All of our information is up on the website. But in addition to that, we also have our Jessup office, and my coworkers in the Jessup office will present on that in just a little bit. To all of our community partners who are here today, we really appreciate you taking time out of your day to participate in this. And we actively are seeking out opportunities to work with you, because we know that need crosses all sorts of arbitrary geographic and designation boundaries. And it's the totality, kind of the wraparound services, which is what is driving service delivery, especially in this time of COVID and time of crisis. So thank you for being here today. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce my coworker, Shannon Glynn. Shannon.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shannon Glynn. Like Neil, I've been here. I've been here for a little bit over 4 years with Life. I'm actually the peer support coordinator. In the past, before COVID, we used to do one peer support event every month, which was the third Thursday of every month, and a life skills event meeting the fourth Thursday of every month. Now we do a combination of 2 or 3 each every month virtually. Just depends on what's going on and how we can manage it through our schedules. Also, I do help people with getting placed in housing, which either through subsidized housing or some form of affordable housing in the 20 counties that we service. That either be through the HUD 811 program or through Section 8, which is through the Housing Authority or the Department of Community Affairs Housing Authority, because some of the counties are still under the regular Housing Authority and the rest are under the Community Affairs Housing Authority section.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Shannon. Shannon does a great job with putting together these peer support groups. He works closely with Sabrina, who will introduce herself in just a little bit.
Just one other thing too, Neil. I do help people doing one-on-one peer support if that is something that you need or seek out to need as far as services as well.
Exactly. And one of the things I think bears some clarification here is we believe peer support. We believe that disability is not the impediment to people's access to services and access to achieving the outcomes that they're seeking to achieve. Primarily, the barrier is people's perception of that disability. So when we say peer support, it doesn't mean someone with the exact disability that I have, but it means that someone who has some familiarity navigating a system that's designed for somebody without a disability, and trying to figure out how to make the system that doesn't fit them still work for them to be able to navigate it to gain the access to the services and the benefits that they're seeking to achieve. One other housekeeping thing I just want, before we move on to the next person, I want to clarify, we are having a drawing, $25 drawing for an Amazon gift card. The staff members of Life and the board members of life who are present are not cannot win. Everybody else can though. However, it's not possible for us to notify you of this. We anticipate this drawing will be by the end of this this meeting. However, we can't notify you that you've won because you may have to roll off unless you leave a phone number or something else like that. I think that Angel is assigning a randomly generated number. It's going to go into those random things where you hit the button and then it gives you a number. Whoever's number is assigned to that will be the winner, and she will notify them. However, if you called in, your number is up on the phone. If you didn't call in, if you're actually on screen, we need a contact information, whether that's an email or a phone number. If you put that in the chat, you can direct that to Angel, and so what it says to everyone, you can change that to Angel Donardi, and she will be able to gather all the contact information for that. All right, so that's the last bit of housekeeping. If you do have any questions about that, just let me know. Oh yeah, there's one more bit of housekeeping, which is I'm going to be looking at the chat. So if you put something in the chat, I will make sure that the speaker, whoever it is directed to, will answer it. It may be we'll wait till they finish their presentation before we direct that question to them, but it will be answered, and it may be at the conclusion of everybody speaking, but I anticipate us just having those questions asked to them as they kind of conclude their presentation. All right, so the next person I'd like to introduce is Allison Huffin. Allison.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Allison Huffin. I am an independent living coordinator / recreation resource. If you ever call the Savannah office, I will likely be the one you will be the first to speak to. I look for resources within your area and either email it to you or verbally tell you the information by phone. And I've also been with Life about to be a year.
So I will plug Allison because she's modest, but Allison is always on the lookout for resources and activities and other things around that can assist individuals with disabilities to live independently. Can you speak for just a second about kind of the recreational stuff that you've been looking into?
Okay, well, some of the recreational activities I so far looked into cycling, adaptive rock climbing. Also, I currently got my fishing license, my hunting license, my boating license. So basically anything if you want to know about adaptive recreational activities, I will be the person you would speak to, because I will either email you the information or verbally tell you it over the phone.
Don't forget, she's our resident daredevil too.
Yeah, that too.
Resident daredevil, but she's an awesome resource for activities. She's trying to get different people in the area that do sporting to do adaptive sporting. It's something that she's really passionate about. And so we're really fortunate to have that kind of enthusiasm. And so I just want to add my plug in to that as well.
All right, well, that's a perfect segue to our next person I'm going to be introducing, which is our Associate Director, Angel Donardi. Take it away, Angel.
Thank you. As Neil said, my name is Angel Donardi. I'm the Associate Director. And like everyone else here at Life, I wear many hats. None of us have a single title. You'll see a slash next to someone's name for the most part. That isn't all that they do. We all do lots of things, and we collaborate, we work well together. We are a true team. It's something that we take great pride in, and we do enjoy each other's, the two heads is better than one. Well, we've got many times that here. As Associate Director, I do a lot of things behind the scenes. It's what I enjoy best, is kind of making sure that things run smoothly whenever possible. I'm also the home modification coordinator, and that is something I'm deeply passionate about. Home modification, if you imagine it, people think ramps and grab bars and things like that, but it's what those things represent that I'm really most passionate about, which is removing physical barriers for people, giving them the opportunity to remain independent as long as possible and as safely as possible. My job is tough in that I have to say no a lot, because in our 20 service counties, we have way more people that need home modifications than we have people that are able to accommodate those requests and or the funding. So I'm always out there shouting to the rooftops how important this is, and it's not hard to make a difference in your community. And I hope that any of you that are interested in finding out how you can make a difference, please reach out to me. It's sometimes it's a matter of somebody that you might know a contractor that would be willing to supervise a volunteer group, or would be willing to onboard with us to do site built ramps in our counties. So there's a lot that goes on with it. It's deeply rewarding, the home modification program, when you see an individual that's been on our waiting list for a while, and some people are on there for over a year because there's just that much need. When they finally get a ramp and they have that freedom is evident. We recently had a consumer that got a ramp after waiting very patiently for quite a long time. She was not able to enter or exit her home without assistance. She was a full-time wheelchair user, is a full-time wheelchair user. And when I called to let her know that she would be getting her ramp finally constructed, she said that she was just going to get on her ramp and ride up and down it for no apparent reason, just because she could. And that is the kind of story that I hold on to. And again, it's something that I'm deeply passionate about. And it's something that I'm most proud of about that we do. It's very much a tangible thing. We do a lot of things behind the scenes that you can't shout from the rooftop, you can't take a picture of, that makes a difference in people's life. But the home modification program is one of those things.
Thank you, Angel. Yes, the home mod program is certainly one of the most tangible things we do. When I first joined Life, people would say, where you work? Oh, Life, oh, they build ramps, right? I'm like, no, but we do help facilitate the building of those. We don't want to take credit away from the individuals who actually have the know-how of how to assemble those. The next person I'd like to introduce is Sabrina Floyd. She is one of our IL coordinators in the Savannah office. Sabrina.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like Neil said, my name is Sabrina Floyd, and I have been with Life for approximately 9 months now. And I tell you, each day gets better than the next. I really enjoy my job. I am an IL coordinator with assisting people with housing with Shannon. And we provide applications for those persons who qualify to apply and be put on a waiting list to get approved for housing. Also, I am involved with the disaster preparedness program. And what that is when we have disasters or like such as hurricanes or anything in that realm, that we are thinking of ways and how to get our resources to people who have disabilities so that you're able to have the same resources available to everyone else when there comes a time we need to get out of town. For example, we want to make sure that you are quickly and safely getting out of town. And last but not least, I just began recently hosting our peer support group, which meets on the first and second Thursday of each month. And that is one of my passions that I'm happy and love and enjoy doing. So hopefully I try to give topics that is informative yet fun. And that is me.
Thank you, Sabrina. Sabrina does an excellent job with our peer support work. She is also on top of any number of different things to narrow down what anybody does at Life. Just one person would probably take me 20 minutes. I'm very thankful to have such great coworkers. One of the things I will add about the emergency preparedness, on the planning end of things, you can't plan during a disaster, just like you can't plan during a crisis. That's why we're always seeking to encounter people before they reach crisis mode, which is hard because when it's sunny and everything's nice out, you want to go play, you want to do the fun stuff. But sometimes that's when you really need to be engaged in the planning process. We try to make it as fun as possible so that it will encourage people to reach out to us. But we still, just like all support agencies, get plenty of I'm being evicted tomorrow. And that's kind of beyond the scope of what we can help with. But we do continue to work with them to try to figure out how we can help them navigate that. As far as the emergency planning, that's the same exact thing, which is the people who build these systems, it's massive amounts of people that they're trying to get out of a space and move to a different space. And the logistics on that are overwhelming. However, in all those logistics, the details can get lost about the needs of individuals with disabilities. It doesn't take much to accommodate individuals with disabilities frequently. It's just some foresight in the planning process. Sabrina does a really great job representing us on national calls. And both Sabrina and I participate in a group that we are co-founders of, which is the Coastal Coalition of CILs Active in Disaster. It was founded, I believe it was June of this past year. And we bring in any number of different groups, including I've been talking with representatives of SEMA who will be attending our next meeting, I believe, trying to interface with them so that we are providing them the information. Again, we're not the experts, but we do know people who have lived experience in these disasters, and they can share insights with our community partners and providers so that they don't make the same mistakes the next time around. And so I think it's a really, really great symbiotic relationship where we are helping provide the information that the planners need, and they're providing us some insight into how these systems operate, because you can't know until somebody's willing to share that with you. Thank you so much. The next person I'm going to turn to is one of my fellow compatriots in the Jessup office today. She is brand new with us, but she is already shown herself to be quite adept at navigating the systems, and has volunteered for some of the trickiest assignments around our COVID supports. Andrea Daigle.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Andrea Daigle. I'm an independent living coordinator. And as Neil said, I've been with Life about 3 weeks now, and I'm based out of the Jessup office. And I am training to get my feet wet in all of the programs that we offer, but right now I'm spending some time learning the Georgia Rental Assistance Program, as well as the assistive technology programs that we offer for the hearing impaired.
Yep. So Andrea, you will really appreciate this. I'm sharing this for the first time in front of a live studio audience, but I actually talked with Janelle Harvey today, who is also on the call from the United Way of Coastal Georgia. And she said that she has all kinds of DCA Georgia rental assistance people that she's looking to have some support with. And I said, oh, I know just the woman. So I think you'll be keeping plenty busy with that program. The next individual I'm going to introduce is also in our Jessup office. He's been one of the mainstays. He was one of the founding people. He and I sat in an empty office and built chairs. That's when you know you're on the ground floor of something. And that is Marquise Morgan. Take it away, Marquise.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Marquise Morgan. Neil gave me quite the introduction already, and Life wanted to found and expand our reach into rural areas. So we founded the Jessup office here because there is a lot of need, especially outside of the cities, the bigger cities like Savannah. There's a lot that needs to be done out here. There's a lot of people with disabilities that need assistance. There are so many people out here that were checking in with Life and we just decided to expand our reach there. And it has been the privilege of my life to be able to see everyone out in these communities and get to wear the many hats like Angel was describing. Sometimes we're out, helping people get access ramps. Sometimes we're helping people get assistive listening devices so they can hear better. Sometimes we're helping people find housing and get their rent paid. Sometimes we're helping people, advocate for themselves, be able to, argue their case for disability, Medicaid, Medicare, to, various government agencies, to be able to, get help in these, navigating these complex systems that can really grind people down when they're already, struggling so much. And I've also gotten the pleasure to meet so many people that are also doing the same thing. Being out here, collaboration has been one of our biggest focal points, so that, whenever someone needs help, even if we can't provide it, we can show them to somebody that will be able to help them. And we've met so many great people doing so much with so little. It has been truly eye-opening and awe-inspiring, and I'm happy to be a part of this.
Thank you, Marquise. As I said, Marquise has been with us since the beginning, and we've learned together. And in case anybody was curious on how you don't want to open an office, you don't want to open an office a month before a pandemic starts. I didn't have much control over that, but I will say that's one of my great sources of pride is we opened an office in an area that we weren't all that familiar with. And we've been able to deliver, I don't even know how many ramps out here. We've been able to assist so many people in a time of crisis, whether it's just having somebody to listen to, whether it's just having somebody who you can interface with to answer questions, or provide services or help them set goals or identify the resources in the community. And this is a perfect time to plug our partnerships with our community organizational partners, which is the reason that we were able to successfully navigate such a challenging time entering into this space was we knew it had to be done because the need is so great and because everybody's in crisis. It doesn't allow you to just say, well, I'm in crisis, I'm not going to work. I'm going to just kind of take care of myself. It's a call for all of us, call to action. And I think that Marquise, as well as all my other coworkers, have taken that mantle upon themselves. But the way that we were able to facilitate this is because of our community partners. Our community partners in our expansion counties have been incredibly welcoming. All of our family connections are the different, just the plethora of organizations we share space with have been welcoming, have been always willing to accept our calls, answer our questions. And it didn't take very long for us to be at these meetings, even virtually, before we started recognizing faces and collecting contact information and being able to exchange emails about how to problem solve around really challenging things. So I think a great part of what makes us successful is the amazing partners that we have. And I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of you. I know you're suffering, well, you're working under the same conditions we are, which is the need is always going to outstrip the resources you have. And it's sometimes having really hard conversations with people and telling them no. But the difference between our no and these communities, and just as an organization, and the no that a lot of times people get in these institutions when they're interacting with agencies, is our no is a soft no. Our no is a no, but it's a no. We can't do that, but let's think about ways that we can get you what you need using other systems that are available. And sometimes it's not perfect system, but I think that changes people's perspective. Again, it's re-engaging them in the problem-solving process as opposed to just that feeling of helplessness of not knowing how to move forward. So again, kudos to all my coworkers and kudos to our community partners who've been incredibly welcoming and have obviously figured out how to navigate these challenges before we made our presence known in Jessup, and we really appreciate their
Big round of
assistance.
applause, absolutely, for our partners and everybody that's willing to step in and give ideas. I see Gregory Rosso is here, and he's always there to, he shows up and actually participates. And it's moments like that, and it's those kind of partnerships that make our day better, even if we don't find immediate solutions and we can't necessarily fix things. So I do want to absolutely give a big round of applause, because without, as they say, it takes a village.
Exactly. All right. Well, the next person I'd like to introduce is Clay Mims. He is an independent living coordinator as well as our nursing home transition coordinator. With that, I'll let Clay take it away.
My name's Clay Mims. I'm a nursing home transition coordinator, and I also facilitate the rental assistance program for life. And I'm an independent living coordinator. I've worked here at Life for 5 years, and Before that, I had no idea life was here, but it was great coming into the family. Everyone was accepting, and we work together as a family, and we do what we can to assist everyone in the community. I was born with cerebral palsy, so I have a lot of experience as far as disability and rights and that kind of thing. But I'm here for anyone that needs assistance, and I love working with the people that I work with.
Thank you, Clay. So I want to take just a minute to recognize what Clay has had to take on. So our nursing home transition program is really two programs wedged into one. It's a MFP, Money Follows the Person program, which is more for people who've been in an institutional setting for longer term, and new nursing home transition, which is more short-term stay. At least that's how it's intended. These are massive amounts of paperwork. I mean, massive amounts of paperwork. It's its own operating system as far as like cloud storage. And we've asked Clay to take on the navigating of all of those, all the documentation that necessitates. And then with the advent of COVID, we all had to add a couple more hats to our already stacked heads. And we said, in your spare time, can you take on the DCA Georgia Rental Assistance Program, which anybody who has had even a moment's contact with this knows that that is a Byzantine system that is challenging in both the time it takes for them to actually get the payments to the respective parties, as well as just the paperwork involved, because it all happens behind a curtain that we can't actually see behind. And he has navigated those things spectacularly. And I think you've heard a couple of references to the Georgia, I'm gonna mess up the acronym because I tried to practice it earlier, so there's no chance of me getting this right, but it's through the Georgia Center for Deaf and Hard of Hearing. It's their phone program and amplification program, so that they provide voice amplification devices around the phone so that people can communicate more effectively. It's a free program. Both Marquise and Clay are working in that program, as well as Denise. And so that's been a successful partnership that's really just kind of getting off the ground. With that, I'm going to conclude with the final life staff member, and she's going to, I think we'll stop sharing the screen for just a second, well, after she presents, because she's going to take us on a walking tour of the Savannah office using her computer. It's not perfect, but at least you get to see the new office space. So before she gets to that, I'll let Rachel Black introduce herself and explain what she does in life.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rachel Black. So I am the new Students for Life and Independent Living Coordinator. Basically, I run the Students for Life program with Neil. And the Students for Life program is for school-age students with disabilities who hope to transition into college or a job setting after graduation. We do that through a curriculum based off of independent living skills. And we try to prepare them for things that will come up in their day-to-day life as they live independently in the community as they choose. I was offered the position a couple months ago and I took it, and I've been at it for about a month now. So I've been incredibly blessed with this position and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Well, Rachel, do you want to share where you came from?
Sure. So, well, that's a long story. You see, my parents met. I'm just kidding. No, I actually was an independent living coordinator with the Jessup office before I transferred to the Savannah office. And before I was an independent living coordinator, I was actually a middle school teacher. So I had a little bit of teaching experience when I came to this job.
We figured anybody who could teach middle schoolers could certainly do loads of good with our Students for Life program, because I can't imagine a more challenging thing to take on. All right, so Rachel, would you like to do a computer tour of our facility in Savannah?
I will do my best. Can everyone see the screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'll start up at the front. I'm walking that way now.
Shift plus tab. Leave tab. View button tab.
So this is
Leave.
the front entrance to our
Audio settings
office. We have it set up for COVID protocols if people come in on appointments.
Tab.
This is where Allison usually sits and answers the phone
Plus tab.
and makes everyone very happy because she is a ray of
Plus
sunshine.
tab. Mute. Currently unmute.
And this is our executive director's office, our assistive technology lab.
Yeah, it's really Sabrina's office at this point. She just lets me borrow it
Yes.
every once in a while. Rachel, can you go back to the AT lab real quickly? I just want to show everybody because we have, and it was built prior to, or it was put together prior to COVID when we actually intended on people being able to come in more frequently. But we have this broken out into different sections that will allow people to kind of showcase to see the assistive technology in the different settings, whether that's with respect to kind of that's the stuff that's up on the walls, but there's also an area with like a bed setup. There's a dining setup, and then I think there's a computer setup, as I recall. So all of these are places that, in theory, if we could get back in the office and things will calm down with COVID. As you can see in the background there, that is a talking microwave. So these are the sorts of pieces of technology that people can see in the space and be able to kind of visualize or work with to understand how they operate under the guidance of Denise, who does an amazing job with it.
Excuse me, Neil, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You did say that was a talking microwave?
Yes, sir. And I'll let Denise describe it for you real quickly.
Yes, it's a microwave so that it gives you audible feedback whenever you push a button. So if you press cook, it'll say cook. Whenever you press the numbers to set the time, it just speaks every command. And so you're able to hear each button as you press it.
Wow, that's awesome. That's the first time I've ever heard of a talking microwave, and it caught my attention because the one I'm currently using is not audible. So I had to kind of guess, especially like when it comes time to warming up food and stuff. I just push whatever button and push the start button, and I kind of like monitor it on my own when I think it's warm enough. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and Denise can also, if it's something you're interested in, Denise can work with you to be able to label your microwave buttons with something that's tactile so that you can understand the buttons you're pushing. It's a more of a low-tech way to be able to monitor kind of how the keyboard is set up on your microwave. But all right, so I'm gonna take it back to the narration of Rachel going through the office. Take it away, Rachel.
Okay, so this is our lounge area where we have all our brochures and our water cooler. And then we have our durable medical equipment storage area. We have a lot of durable medical equipment right now.
The screen share disabled.
Can y'all still see?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's Shannon at his desk.
Hey, Shannon.
Wave, Shannon. There you go.
Candid camera.
And this is our conference room. Is there anything else you'd like me to show him, Neil?
I think that that's probably good.
Good job. Round of applause for the spontaneous virtual tour, Rachel.
Good
Way
job,
to go.
Rachel. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. I wanted to also, I see a couple of our board members are on the call with us today, and I just wanted to introduce them. I only see two because some people may have called in. And so if any of the other board members have called in, I'll give them a second to self-identify after I call up the individuals I can recognize. The first person on my screen is Shaniqua Grisham. She is our board president, and we're thrilled to have her with us today. Thank you, Shaniqua, for coming out. And directly below her is Cheryl Bracken, who is our board secretary. So they are the backbone of our board meetings, and we really appreciate them being here with us today. You guys are more than welcome to say something, or if you're good, you can wave and we'll move on. Okay, that makes complete sense. Are any of the other board members on the phone? All right. Well, so I believe with that, let me see what look at the other stuff. Angel, do we want to conduct the drawing now?
Sure, we can. I wanted to remind people that because of the pandemic, we have learned that so many things can be accomplished online. And with the wonderful guidance of Denise and the collaboration of everybody on the Life team, we have pulled together all kinds of online opportunities for our consumers and the community in general. A lot of times we do invite the community at large to our events to learn more, because we're out there doing cool stuff, but to also learn more and be able to share more and understand what we do. Our peer support meetings are the only exception to that. That is exclusively for Life consumers and people with disabilities. Otherwise, all are welcome. And we have done quite a lot this past year. When I was pulling up the information and putting the slideshow together, I realized, boy, we've been pretty busy for the last year. Sometimes you forget the day-to-day, that you're out there doing things. And so there's some representation here about what we've been doing. We did a self-advocacy workshop that was really fun. And that was, a lot of these things are with guest presenters. So we couldn't have done it without them. And it's fun. It's fun to collaborate on these things. And you always learn from one another. We did a disability employment rights and resources. Of course, we do our peer support, which is, that's special in and of itself. We've done workshops on voting, emergency preparedness, work incentive, caring for the caregiver. We've done the 411 on COVID-19 vaccines. Jackie Ogden helped us with how you spend makes a difference. She might actually be here today. Thank you, Jackie. And we talk about recreation, recipes, books, resources, advocacy, self-care. We run the gamut, and we can do it online. And what we've discovered through the pandemic is that it's very beneficial for people with disabilities to have access this way. And we've known it all along, but the rest of the world has finally caught on. And we're like, yes, people can see that it can still be done, and that we can utilize technology in a very proactive way, in a very positive way. There's a lot of things about technology that can be frustrating and negative, but we know that when you are a person with disabilities, sometimes you have physical barriers, sometimes you're just having a bad day, there's transportation issues, and to have the online option is priceless. And that includes work, being able to work from home. and access things like this where you don't have to travel, because sometimes for people with disabilities, traveling takes more time. You're slowed down by things, you're encumbered by things. And so be able to open a laptop or other device, your phone, your tablet, and participate with your community to this degree, it's a big deal. And we're hoping that as we get back to normal eventually from this pandemic, quote unquote normal, that people recognize that that when they talk about inclusion, they weren't being very inclusive. Their spaces weren't inclusive, and these opportunities weren't inclusive. So we're hoping that that trend continues, that people do understand. We do see that people are more knowledgeable now because they're hearing and seeing that these things are possible and who it benefits. So I did want to give a shout out to my colleagues for all the hard work that they've done and all the partners that have shown up to help us do those things. We did accessible gardening. That was fun. I did my hand at gardening this year. Can't say I have a green thumb, but it was fun. I look forward to doing more and learning more. It's all a learning process. So that's really the only other thing I did want to say, that we put daily, we do post things on Facebook. We have a good social media presence. We're always posting our activities there. Articles, books, recipes, resources. We put our newsletter there. And it's a good presence for us because it's a good central way for people to stay in touch with what we're doing and what we're about. You can always send messages there. Of course, you can call us too, the old-fashioned way. You can even come in the office, but that's only by appointment because of COVID. We're hoping that, goes back where we can see each other in person again. But we do have fun doing the online presentations, and we're really glad that we have that opportunity to do it. And I know that we're getting close to, everybody wants to know who's going to win this Amazon gift card. And the last thing I want to say is our consumers make everything worthwhile. They are why we do what we do. And we do get those success stories. We have the day-to-day frustrations where you can't pull out the old magic wand and fix things. But like Neil said earlier, we're there to help provide people with tools and resources so they can do things themselves and learn how to do things themselves. It's part of what the Center for Independent Living model is all about. And when you see these success stories and you know that you've given someone an opportunity to do that, it makes all the times you have to say no, and we're sorry there's no resource for that, worthwhile. It helps mitigate some of that. So we do feature those success stories in our newsletter as well. So I do hope that you stay tuned for that. Our newsletter is quarterly, and Neil's putting up his finger.
Real quick plug, our next newsletter, Marquise, when is our next newsletter?
Goes out on the 29th.
Goes live, and it will be on our Facebook page. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to give it 1 second so that anybody that needs to see it, that can see the screen, sees our address and phone number if you need it. But we're always, you can always find us, hopefully. Let me stop sharing the screen so that I can see Allison. And Allison, from you, all I need is the number of participants so that I know what number to put into the random number generator.
How will we know what number we are?
Allison's assigning numbers as people logged in. She put a number next to your name or your phone number. Now, some people, as Neil said, are logged in a way that we can't easily identify you. So we might ask you if you win to put your, if you want your gift card, to put your information for contact to me privately in the chat. If you can't see the chat, if you're blind or low vision, you can't see it, and you want to say it out loud, we can just wait until everybody else leaves if you don't want to share that information. Or if we already have you in our database, we can look you up that way. So don't worry about it. We will make sure that you get your gift card if you're here.
You can also call the office at the conclusion of this meeting and provide your information there too.
Yeah, if we identify you and you know that that's you, let us know. But hopefully we'll be able to find someone that we can easily identify. And so, I'm sorry, board members, you can't win.
So I calculated about 29 participants. I know some jumped off.
Okay, we'll go with the number that's present. Well, I think we'll go with that number because I think that matches what I did. And so I'm
Okay.
going to do the random generator and see what we come up with. Drum roll, please.
Okay.
Somebody can do a drum roll. Gregory's doing a drum roll. Thanks, Gregory. Can always count on you. Okay, the winner is number 22. 22. Allison, can you tell us who number 22 is on your list?
22, I got. What's it?
She's got a count. We'll give her a second.
Yep. Go. I got Doug Hancock.
Doug Hancock. And you're still here. I just need your contact information. It'll be an email because you'll be getting, it's a virtual gift card. So if you want to drop that in the chat or call me with it afterwards, you're welcome to do that. And if you're able to use the chat, you can always just send it directly to me.
A virtual gift card, so I got to spend it virtually?
Well, it's Amazon. So unless you can drive to Amazon, then.
Hey, we're real close to the warehouse out here.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, they built that warehouse off of Jimmy DeLoach. Nice.
Oh,
And actually, we have a few of our students that are former students that are working there.
Oh, that's good.
That's fantastic.
Okay, so Angel, what do you need?
I just need your email address.
I'll put it in the chat.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll get it from you that way. And then I will send you your $25 Amazon gift card. Congratulations, Doug.
Thank you.
You know, Christmas isn't far away. You can start your shopping. We're almost to October. Are you one of those last minute shoppers?
I don't shop.
I don't shop.
Thank you.
I got it. Perfect. Thank you so much. I will copy this and send you your gift card when we're done. If for some reason it doesn't show up, please let me know. If you know, check your spam folder also, just in case goofy things happen like our email. We know how that goes. I'll send an email to myself and it'll go to my spam folder. So I don't know why it will do such a thing, but it does. Okay, fantastic.
All right, I guess, Denise, do you want to conclude our time? I will just take a second just to say thank you all for coming, and I will pass it off to Denise.
Okay, well, I'd just like to echo Neil's sentiments and thank you all for coming to join us. And I just wanted to add that Life covers 20 counties in the Southeast. We're based here in Savannah on Waters Avenue. Our satellite office is in Jessup. And also, if you know someone that needs life services but lives outside of our service area, we're one of over 400 centers for independent living across the country. So you can contact us to find out the SIL for your area or the person that you want to refer. We all provide the same 5 core services, but then we branch out from there. So if you need disability resources, please contact us. And if it's something that we don't provide, we'll certainly try and put you on the right track. So thanks again. And please stay tuned for the next minute. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. I enjoyed the session.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks, everyone.
You're welcome.
When is the next meeting?
The next peer support meeting or IELTS skills meeting?
Meeting like this or any other meeting?
Oh, so I don't know. Sabrina, what's our next one scheduled just for IELTS skills peer support goes?
I think it's the 9th, isn't it? For no Friday from
Peer support
no.
meetings are usually the first and second Thursday of every month. And then we'll release our next set of health skills trainings, but please like our Facebook page. That's one way of getting our announcements. And we'll also send out flyers, but our next peer support event is the first Thursday of October.
Yeah, October 7th.
Okay. Well, goodbye.
Bye. Thank you for coming.
Were there any other questions?
Didn't see any.
Okay.
How are you?
I think if we want to, let's see, give that just another second. Actually, let's everybody jump off and let's jump onto the Monday staff meeting. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Cheryl, for coming.
COLUN.